Hi YouTube, Sir Duckin here again. Another build, softcore build again. This is a Demon Hunter build, and this is the build I use for speed farming Torment 1 bounties. It's basically an endless vault. The big thing that makes it work is the two-piece Denettas. You have Denetta's Spite and Denetta's Revenge, and the two sets says Vault now costs 8 Hatred instead of Discipline. So, Vault normally costs 8 Discipline, now it costs 8 Hatred. You use the Fire rune, and it synergizes really nicely with Cinder Coat. So, first, let's go over the skills we're going to use for the Endless Vault. My primary attack is going to actually be a Hatred Spender. Um, it's multi-shot using Suppression Fire rune. The reason being is Suppression Fire gains you 1 discipline for each enemy hit, with a maximum of 6 discipline per shot. So you're going to use multi-shot to gain a lot of discipline, and I'll show you why that's important in a minute. Your main damage is going to come from Cluster Arrow loaded for Bear. Again, Fire rune, but it just increases the damage to 770%. Cluster Bombs will actually have the highest potential damage. However, they can be a little bit tough to place. It takes a little bit of practice to play with cluster bombs. So usually I just use loaded for bear because it is point and shoot, point and click, and it does all the work for you. Then on the skill bar, I have Vengeance, Personal Mortar, just another fire skill. I use Smokescreen, Healing Vapors on high torment here. Um, yeah, Smokescreen with Healing Vapors, or I'll use Mark for Death. Um, like maybe Mortal Enemy or Grim Reaper. Really just depends. Right now I'm using Vengeance. And now here's where the synergy comes in with multi-shot suppression fire. So we can generate all this discipline, but what do we do with it? Since our vault costs hatred, what are we going to do with all this discipline? Well, punishment says for 25 discipline you restore 75 hatred. So there you go. So you generate a bunch of discipline, use your preparation, get all your hatred. Then of course we use Vault Trail of Cinders, and the reason why we use Trail of Cinders is because with Cinder Coat it says reduce the resource cost of fire skills by 27%. That can roll up to 30%, and so it really makes the cost of Vault very low. It's very nice. Um, Couple that with the additional resource cost reduction that you may be using, and it makes Vault cost very little. And then we have Companion, Board Companion. Doesn't necessarily matter what rune we use here because we use 4-piece Marauders, but we'll get to that in a minute. My passive skill is Tactical Advantage, so you just can run around really fast after you vault. Perfectionist, it reduces all the resource costs of Discipline by 10%, and it increases your life, armor, and resistance to all elements by 10%. I use Archery. The reason being is because the first hand crossbow you get 5% critical hit chance. The second hand crossbow you get 1 hatred per second, which is really nice. It makes it so you don't have to necessarily use your discipline as much to get your hatred back. And then I use Blood Vengeance. Your max hatred is increased by 25. In addition, you gain 30 hatred and 3 discipline when you're healed by a health globe. This is awesome. You get a health globe and you get a bunch of your resources back. I will switch out Perfectionist for Night Stalker sometimes, or on higher torments, I'll switch out Tactical Advantage for Night Stalker, or Tactical Advantage for maybe Ambush or something else. Grenadier, get a little more damage. But generally speaking, this is the skill bar I use. You don't need to change it around too much. The itemization, again, you use Denetta's Spite and Denetta's Revenge. Then I have a Natalia's Reflection, a trifecta Natalia's Reflection. You can get crit chance, crit damage, dex, and like resource reduction, for instance. That might be a little better. Or cooldown reduction for something if you want to stack cooldown for Vengeance. Then I have Natali's Bloody Footprints with cluster arrow damage on them. Pretty good. Decent roll. I would have liked Vitality somewhere, but the cluster arrow damage is definitely a little bit better, I think. Then I use Marauder's Pants. I do have the all resist gems in it, and it does have the pickup radius, which is nice. Here, I don't really go for any damage. I pretty much just all EHP. You can get a lot of EHP on your pants. I have the Ring of Royal Grandeur again. Just tie everything together, get all my set bonuses and whatnot. Razor's Drop for my belt. Every time you pick up a health globe, it releases an explosion that deals 386 weapon damage as fire to enemies within 20 yards. That's again just nice. Every time you pick up a globe, blow some stuff up. When you use your pet, and the Ferris, for instance, will pick up all the health globes within 60 yards. You'll have a bunch of explosions. Uh, Mage Fist for the gloves. Again, the fire skills damage is very ideal. These rolled pretty well, and the secondary even getting my max gold and health globe pickup radius. I would have liked resource cost reduction instead of attack speed, or if I were using the sentry build, you would want cooldown reduction. My shoulders are the Marauder Spines. Again, I could have rolled better dex and vitality, but this is a pretty good roll with the max resource cost reduction. Marauder's Visage for the helmet with a life, a vitality gem, and again, cluster arrow damage since that's the primary damage dealer. A Golden Gorget, fire skills, crit chance, crit damage. Pretty good. I could have rolled better stats on it, but the amulet's pretty up in the air. A Cinder Coat, obviously you get the fire skills damage and reduces the resource cost of fire skills. This is huge. Pretty much ties this particular build together. And then you have a Reaper's Wraps. This one has physical skills for some reason. I don't know why I don't have fire skills one. It should be fire skills. I think it's because this rolled the better health glow percentage. But that should be fire skills. I don't know why I don't have a fire skills one. But yeah, so let's go take this thing for a spin. Typically when I move up Torments, I put on the Nat Slayer and the Dawn. Bumps my damage up, lets me kill the elites a little faster. But on this difficulty, whoops, this will probably be okay. Again, this is usually where we go. The build I use for farming bounties. So it does a pretty good job at taking stuff out. You can move around very quickly. Vengeance is kind of nice. Every time you vault even, it will shoot stuff off. So yeah, it's a pretty good build. It's a fun build. It lets you vault around, complete your bounties very quickly, and it's pretty much the only reason why I use my Demon Hunter nowadays, but to get my Keystone Fragments. But definitely a fun build, and you should give it a try if you have the time to do it. So again, I'm Sir Duckin. Thanks for watching, and I'll be coming at you with another build pretty soon.